peace, peace, peace. I see that. It's me and my son Jeremiah. I know y'all can't see the picture very well, but that's me and my son. Jeremiah, I love you and I miss you, son. I am losing my mind without you, boy. I'm going crazy without you, son. And I need to see you. And I need to speak with you. I need to hear you. And I need to see your smile, Jeremiah. Let me turn this light off real quick. We may be here for a little while. Let's get this out the way. I have been procrastinating with this particular video for a long time. I am afraid that I have been afraid. I have been fearful that if I start this project and really get this particular set of videos going, that I might self-delete when they are done. This you guys see that? That's my son. And as I sit here and look around, I see different photos of my son pop up on various screens. And where can I start this? I'm a little all over the place right now. YouTube, I'm losing my mind, man. My ex-wife, my son's mother, she playing them baby mama games with my son. Them hyena mindset games the hyenas like to play. I haven't seen or been able to talk to my son since August 2022. And it's been real hard on me, man. After his mother divorced me, I went through, the whole divorce, the separation of the family, the whole nine. And now I am, my son and I are victims of the parental alienation game. And being victims of the parental alienation game, man, it's tough. I'm the targeted parent. And it's tough, man. And I have been suffering in silence for some time now. And it's hard. It's tough. Like, it's tough. So, my son and I, we originally started this channel together. Jeremiah, when he was a little bit younger, he's a fan of FGTV. He used to love FGTV here on YouTube when he was a younger boy. And I'm sure he still enjoys that channel. On the FGTV channel, it's like a game, it's a family gaming channel. That's what it is. It's family gaming TV. And my son Jeremiah, he used to watch family gaming TV. And he used to ask me to watch it with him. And of course, I used to watch it with him. And we'd play Plants vs. Zombies and different little games together as father and son. And my son really enjoyed that. So when I began this YouTube channel, originally the channel was supposed to be a father and son gaming channel. And Jeremiah's mother decided that she would stand in the way of that. And and she has been standing in the way of it ever since. And despite all of the modern technology and social media apps and various ways to communicate, she doesn't allow my son and I to communicate. And it's been an ongoing process, man, that I've been dealing with for some time now. And I am in court. I have petitioned the courts for visitation and custody. And right now it's a waiting game. You know, we in between court dates. I'm having to learn how to represent myself in court because I don't have enough money to afford an attorney. Um, and I don't have the mental and emotional bandwidth to deal with a whole lot of other stuff as I have been over the past 10 years, man. For real, over the past 14 years, I've just been grinding and I've been focused on trying to rebuild my life after this divorce. So, like, I spent 13 years in prison. You know, they school to prison pipelined me, right? And I spent 13 years in prison. And after serving 13 years in prison, I was released from prison in 2009. In 2009, I came home to nothing. And, I wanted to be married. And I ended up, as the years progressed after my release from prison, I met a young woman who was marriage minded, and I liked the fact that she was marriage minded, and I agreed to, step in and step up and be a stepdaddy to her two sons. And boy, I was simping. I was super simping. I married her. I married a single mother of two kids, and I gave her a kid within the confines of our marriage. And then she, a few years down the road, she divorced me. I should have recognized that there was a pattern being established. You know, her two previous sons both have different fathers, right? Right now, she has five children, and all of them have different fathers, right? Since since divorcing me a few years ago, she has since had two more relationships that resulted in two more children, right? And she don't want to let me see my son. And as a result, I be going through it. As a result, I be going through it, man. Mentally and emotionally, I be going through it. Because my son and I, like, we've always had a really close bond. From the time he came home from the hospital, I was his father, hands on every day, developing that bond. And I think his mother is jealous of the bond that we have, and she is seeking to destroy it. And over these past few years, she's taken me through a lot of turmoil, like a lot. It's been a lot. And she won't let me have communication with my son. Now, my son lives, or let me say, I live about 45 minutes away from where he lives with his mother. And despite all of the modern technology that we have, everywhere, there's a million devices and tablets and laptops. Despite these modern means of communication, she doesn't facilitate a way for my son and I to communicate. As a matter of fact, what she does is she purposely blocks, stops, and cuts off communication. And I have dealt with that as best I can, silently, quietly, over the years, and it's to the point where I can't deal with it anymore. Um, Actually, at the time of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and say it and put it out there because I'm not afraid or ashamed of the truth. And as a matter of fact, the truth is my superpower. I'm this close to self-deletion, but I refuse to give up because I know that my son, the only person on the face of this planet that would be hurt by that is my son. And I understand that. But I'm at my wits' end and I need some help and crying out in the wilderness, I guess, if that's what they call it, right? All I can do right now is wait and try to get my money up and wait till this next court date, man, and see what's happening. And in the meantime, in between time, I keep calling my son's guardian ad litem, but she's always in court. So all I can do is leave messages with her law firm, right? And in the meantime, I'm not able to communicate with my son. And it is killing me. It is killing me. It is killing my spirit. And I understand fairly well how so. I'm not in the best mental and emotional health right now. I have been uh, seeking and receiving treatment for it for some time. I have a therapist. I am in therapy for whatever that's worth, you know. Um, I have been diagnosed with depression and anxiety and post traumatic stress disorder. When it comes to my son, his mom triggers, like she triggers me. And she does it purposely so because she's a narcissist and she's a narcissistic abuser. And she abuses me emotionally and psychologically. Let me give you an example of the ways in which she abuses me emotionally and psychologically. A couple years ago, uh, I wasn't able to get in touch with my son. Same situation I'm dealing with now, but this is just a few years back. So I decided to go to the house and see what's going on. But prior to me going to her house, I had given my son an iPhone. My son had an iPhone. And my son and I would communicate in the morning before school, after school, and before bedtime almost every day. We FaceTiming, right? Almost every day. And then he was put on phone restriction and never got his phone back. And I never have been able to FaceTime with my son Jeremiah since, right? So in the process of that, I'm trying to figure out what's going on, why I can't get in touch with my son. I go to the house. knock on the door. I get served with a protective order that his mother had sought from the local authorities a few days prior to me coming to knock on her door. I haven't gone to knock on her door since then. That was, man, that might have been coming up on 5 years ago now. This process is extremely difficult for me, YouTube. I like this process of processing these emotions that I have bottled in and have not expressed publicly for years. This is difficult for me to process these emotions. And so this is going to be a little bit messy. I'm telling you, and I guess I'm telling myself that this is going to be a little bit messy. Forgive me in advance. But I have to start somewhere. And I have been, this bottle, you open this bottle and it's gonna make a mess. But this bottle needs to be open, and these feelings need to, to be let out and expressed. My Jeremiah, if you are seeing this video, son, know that I love you. Know that I'm not crazy, Jeremiah, or anything like that. I'm just crazy about you. And I'm angry all the time that your mom won't let us talk. I'm not even sure sometimes how to communicate with my son because the years have gone by. He is older now. That boy about to be 13. And sometimes I still want to talk to him like he's 7. I am not ashamed to shed tears in front of the whole world behind my son. There's a channel here on YouTube. Shout out to Maddie over at the Anti-Parental Alienation Project. That is the name of her channel. I was watching some videos over there, and there's a guy, I can't remember his name at the moment, but he said, and I quote, because like when he said it, like I felt him so much, because I know, he said that while he was going through his ordeal with his ex-wife and their children, and he was the targeted parent, he said that it's like grieving the loss of your living child. And I am in that state where I am grieving the loss of my living child, my living son. I have lost my son. As a matter of fact, listen, let me tell you a little bit more about the psychological and emotional games that his mother can sometimes play. She let me believe for 10 months, listen to me. For 10 months, she let me believe that they weren't at the address where I thought that they was at. Remember, I just told you last time I went over there, she called the police. The police came, told me I can't be there. Went to court. The judge told me don't go over there. So her blocking communication, not allowing, not facilitating, not enabling communication between her son and his father, between her ex-husband and her son. She don't allow that communication. So I'm like, man, I gotta find a way to make sure that my son is all right. I perform a wellness check, or I call the local, the county police and ask them to perform a wellness check. It took me 3 days of calling. Listen to me, YouTube. As a concerned father, I wasn't even able to get any information from the first phone call on the first day. It took me 3 days of calling and asking Prince William County Police in Prince William County, Virginia, to perform a wellness check. On the third day, when I called to figure out what's going on, the police officer called me back and told me that he was told that they no longer live at that address. So for like the next 8 to 10 months, I'm I'm in a state of anxiety, like I don't know where my son is. I don't know his condition. I don't know his whereabouts. I don't know what's going on whatsoever with my son. These are the type of games that my ex-wife, his mother, plays. I listen. This is what she does to me. What is she doing to that boy? What type of emotional and psychological trauma is she inflicting upon her son? I asked that question rhetorically because I already know the answer to the question, having been raised by a single mother myself. I already know the answer to that question. I already know the ways in which single mothers sabotage their sons. I have to get used to venting in this way. I know that I seem kind of off and kind of crazy, and that's okay. I kind of am just a little bit. This situation is driving me crazy. I lost my son and I'm losing my mind, and I'm fighting to get my son back. And I need some help. I need some currency. I need to be empowered so that if you can empathize and if you are willing to empower me, please help me. I need to get some lawyer money so I can make sure I can get my son, man. We going into World War III. The Venezuelans is running wild in the area. I want to be able to be a father to my son. Jeremiah, if you are viewing this video, know that I love you, man. I got a court date coming up in May for visitation and custody, Jeremiah. I'm calling Mrs. Spinks, your guardian ad litem, your lawyer. I'm calling Mrs. Spinks every day, trying to set up that visitation, or at least a phone call or something, Jeremiah. I love you. I know that you are waiting for me. I'm coming, son. I'm working on it. I love you, man. Know that I love you. You too. Peace.